Hey everybody,
Hey,
AFC
guys.
Northerners. Jan David Tutar, Ravens Nation.
Dave Green, Browns guy.
So we are going to be talking about our prospective games coming up for this week. We already covered our reactions.
Yes, we did.
And we just got done watching Mark and Gabe's preview video. So we got a lot to talk
funny
about.
to comment back and forth on it. I saw it shortly after they put it out. And, well, no, actually not shortly after. He was like probably 1,500 views into it at that point. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was rather entertaining. The comments were freaking fascinating.
And thank you guys for commenting. We love it when you comment, even like whenever you hate us. We
Love the
it.
hate. We love the hate.
We love the
guys.
hate. All right, do you want to kick it off? Go for it.
All right, let's see. I know I talked about it on Sunday after the game, but there's a few things I missed out on, and I just want to touch on those. Josh Gordon, in his return to football after missing over 1,000 games, 4 catches, 85 yards.
Crazy.
One of only 3 wide receivers to do that on the Chargers this season, and he's in the company with Odell Beckham Jr. And the kid from Miami. And I don't even have the shit written down. Fuck, it's a kid from Miami.
Yeah.
Whatever. So that was pretty fascinating to see. He looked really good out there. And then you combine his 85 yards catching with what Joku did. Joku also had 4 catches. He had 74 yards plus the score. So now we're starting to see the Browns show that we have some offensive weapons.
Well, now you have an offensive weapon.
I think we have those 2 guys. Corey Coleman was absent in this game. Not a big deal, though.
No.
The game we got coming up, very exploitable with the Packers up the middle. They're very soft on the tight ends. I expect to see Joku have another game. I expect to see the Browns attack the middle of the field on those guys. I don't think that they can cover that. They're not really tested on the outside. They got Clinton Dix out there, and that guy's just a shutdown corner. As far as other players on the Packers that we should be watching is number 47, Jake Ryan, and number 97, Kenny Clark.
Kenny Clark is, watch for that guy.
Those guys really know how to work an offensive line on the edges. Kaiser could be in trouble if we don't get him appropriate blocks and use the running backs to help block. I don't know. Just go back and forth, I guess. I don't have to give a prediction at this point. I mean, I can continue on. I can talk about Huntley.
What I wanted
garbage.
some of the questions that I had for you going into this game were, like, one, I actually think this is a winnable game for you.
Yes.
I totally believe this is a winnable game for you. This is not the Packers that we're used to seeing.
No.
Aaron Rodgers is,
all world,
Yeah.
actually, and he's the guy that makes them go.
Yeah.
He's the guy that raises the level of talent that they have. Not to say that the Packers don't have talent, but without Rodgers, they look like Browns medium to us.
Yeah. I
It's
can't
Browns
agree with
heavy
you.
versus Browns light, Packers heavy versus
I
Packers
really
light.
think that, like, on offense, your weakest link is going to be Kaiser on that. I think that, like, Kaiser has shown that whenever he gets pressure, and they will apply pressure, but whenever he gets some pressure, he doesn't always make the smart throw.
No, he's learning to run, though. He had 45 yards rushing last week. And if you look at his numbers from the first 5-6 games of the year, where he had, 4 touchdowns and I don't even know how many interceptions, compared to now, those numbers are starting to balance each
Yeah, I mean,
other
you
out.
kind of expect
He's
that to
starting,
happen.
Exactly. You're starting to adjust to the speed of the game. Not going to discuss whether Kaiser should be the starter next year. We still have 4 days.
I mean, who knows?
4 games left of football to
Yeah.
play. Let's worry about that in the offseason and just dominate the media with that, because we are America's team.
My next question is, like, on because I know that, like, Danny Shelton was a little knocked up on the last game a little
Right.
bit. So, like, what's his factor in all this?
He'll be in there.
Yeah.
And we're going to depend on him to stop Collins. You watch what Collins did on his one play in overtime, 20 yards. He freaking scattered a little bit. He scooted a little bit and found the edge, got the hole, and turned it upfield for the touchdown. Packers won in overtime against Tampa Bay. He's going to be the guy that Shelton's going to have to jack up.
Yeah.
And, like, Williams, I believe, is the other running back they have.
Yeah.
He didn't really do much of anything in that game for them. Collins is the one that's more explosive, and that's the guy that they should feature.
Yeah. So, you got to give me a prediction.
Oh, boy. I'm going to say it's going to be 1916 Browns, And the reason I'm going to say that is because of what the Green Bay's running out at quarterback, Hunley. The guy has 2 games of less than 100 yards passing. He has 1 game of 157 yards passing. Every other game he's gone over 200, but the guy's got 2 wins. One was against Chicago, and the other one was against Tampa Bay this past weekend. He has an inability to find Jordy Nelson, so if he can't get Nelson involved in the offense, that just makes it a Randall Cobb deal. And I don't see why we can't shut Cobb down. If we run out, let's just say McCourty covers Nelson, right? So Nelson gets shut down. Pretend then that Calhoun and we can use Peppers to help cover over coverage with the safety.
Yeah,
cover Cobb. Now they're really just depending on that run game. And I know we're not number 3, 4, 5 in the league anymore in rush defense, but we still have the ability to stop that run. This is going to be a game where it's going to show we missed the other edge guy in Agba.
I think that with this game, I think that it's obvious that, like, I just get a feeling like this is going to be one of those games where it's like the Browns just kind of throw caution to the wind and just say fuck it and go for it. And whenever that happens, like once you guys, like as a team, start playing not to lose but playing to win and just like fuck it, like whatever, let's just go out there.
Well, I don't think we've been playing to be conservative. I
don't think you have either.
I think the play calling's been conservative.
That's what I'm talking about.
And I think Hugh Jackson's system is very dependent on the right pieces being there. The team still doesn't give up. They're playing hard all the way to the end.
So touching on that, how do you feel about Hugh up to this point?
Oh, I'm not going to touch on that. It's like I said. Like I said before, there's still 4 games in this season.
That's fair.
And we're going to play all 4 games, and then we'll make a decision about you.
We're gonna have to like do at the end of the season like each team rant. Like all the things like that we saw over the entire season, just do like an episode of rant. Like no matter what the outcome is, like like what it like your gripes and your like your positives going out of the season. Because I want to know because season 2 Hugh Jackson, I want to know. So anything else to top off on that?
Dude, I don't have anything else.
Cool. All right. So let's go into.
Who's gonna have a game? We got the Ravens, though. Now, that's going to be an interesting game.
Yeah.
And I'm going to kind of correlate Packers, Ravens, Pittsburgh.
Okay.
When you go back and you look, Baltimore shut Green Bay out, right? And then dude threw 4. He didn't have a touchdown. Then he came back and he played Pittsburgh, right, the following week. And the dude had 3 touchdown passes. Is that indicative of your defense compared to Pittsburgh's defense?
Absolutely.
So you're saying that your defense is better than Pittsburgh?
Absolutely.
Ooh.
Absolutely. We have a number 1 rated defense. We have absolutely a better defense than they do.
And you don't think...
And also, like, the last time we played, and we'll get into this because we're about to go into the Ravens Steelers game, but there's a lot of things that, like, whenever you're watching the Ravens on D, you, as a Ravens fan, you almost have a sigh of relief. The only exception to that was whenever we played the Texans, and it was just a real slow start for the defense for whatever reason.
Right.
And that's the only game that I've seen like that so far. Like that was a really poorly, I think that it was just one of those things that like. Well, I think it was evidence because it was right before the bye, and it was just a slow start getting in.
We're 13 games into the year. You're starting to see Jefferson slow down now, get more used to the system that.
He just had an interception,
right?
So I would say temper that.
It's starting to slow down for him. He's starting to understand what
the
system
okay, I see what you're saying.
And combine that with Weddle was named Defensive
Player of the Week.
That's a great safety combination right there that you're now starting to see that you had your hopes up on at the beginning of the year
season.
And were completely let down by. And I think that's
I wouldn't say I was completely down. I say that I was disappointed in games. I would definitely say that there were games where I was like, Jefferson, you got to do this better. But all of those things feel like, as a fan, he listened and adjusted, and now we're seeing that.
That's because he's been in that system for a while now. What do you think your go-to receiver is going to do? Like, I can't even name a go-to receiver for you guys.
So
It's
we
a
got
bunch of
Wallace,
guys,
we got Macklin. You got our top receiver is Ben Watson, the tight end. He's got more yards per carry. Per
Okay,
reception.
so all Browns fans are fully aware what Ben Watson can do. Like,
Yeah.
we know that. Explain to me how a guy who's been absent 3/4 of the season, a.k.a. Kenny Britt, a.k.a. Macklin, how is that going to help you guys out?
Well, Macklin
playing?
wasn't been absent this season.
No, they've shown up, they've dressed, they've walked onto the field, but come on,
Well,
Macklin
a lot
and
of
Britt's
that.
numbers
Okay,
are
so
pretty much the same.
it's literally you're
you're
asking
talking-
a question that's got 3 answers in order to answer
Yes.
it all at once. So in that regard,
Give them something.
yeah,
Give
happy
them
to.
something.
So one, Macklin, new system, but also like conservative play calling from Marty Morningweg.
Okay.
Like so first you got the play calling, and Marty Morningweg is not an aggressive offensive play caller.
No.
We've seen this. We've seen like check downs on 3rd downs and want to punch ourselves in the face. However, the answer to that question again is threefold. So one is the play calling, absolutely.
Okay.
2 is drops. Our offensive players, our wide receivers have had drops that were just inexcusable. I mean, we're 2-0 so far with without Perryman on the lineup.
Yeah.
Perryman has not played, and we haven't had any drops. So there's that. Like he's looking like he needs way more time, or he needs a better coach, or he's just a bust. I'm not sure which.
I think it would probably be fair to say bust.
It could be,
I mean,
but it
injuries
also
happen,
could be.
though, but I think bust is a very fair label.
I think that it's getting to be a very fair label. I will not disagree with you. I can't like say stamp on it, but yeah. Third thing is that we have had a very, from the looks of it, Joe Flacco can be hard to read because it looks like he never emotes.
Okay.
Right? But once you've paid attention to him and you sit there and you look at like his face after looking at a play, and you sit there and you like learn his little, his quirks and his things like that. We have not seen a Joe that has been able to really gain chemistry really with any of his wide receivers, with the exception of like his tight ends, which is typical.
Right.
He loves his tight ends, Pitta, Heap, like he.
Well, that's natural progression. If you can't get a chemistry with the wide receivers,
You go to the
downfield,
tight ends,
you go to
exactly.
the tight ends,
So,
and you check down passes to the running
Without Steve Smith there, as we had him last year, like Macklin came in. Now, if we had Steve Smith this year, like who knows what would have happened. But at the same time, I'm almost glad that he's not there because that forced out the conversation and put the onus back on Joe, right?
Okay.
I really do think that it put the conversation back onto Joe. That being said, I think that Joe has gotten more comfortable. I mean, he had that injury in the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
I think that that's kind of worked itself out. We're seeing a January Joe a little bit early in December. I don't know if that holds up throughout the rest of the season before January, but I do know that, watching him play, watching him go through the moments, like I'm seeing a lot of those things that I was bitching about early on in the season to kind of alleviate themselves. That being said, I like Joe. I'm not wacko for Flacco, never really have been, but I think that he can absolutely carry this team into a postseason. I mean, he's proven that. We won a Super Bowl with him. I'm excited on the possibility, really more than any, that Marty is allowing Joe to really make play calls on the field more than they're playing.
At the line. Okay.
Exactly. I think that.
That's Roethlisberger right there.
Exactly.
They don't hold him back.
Exactly. And I think that. I think that Marty is the kind of parent that gets in the kid's way more than he gets out of the kid's way.
Okay.
As a coach, I think that he does that a little bit. So, I mean, that's the best answer I got is that, like, on offense, like, we've got Macklin. Macklin can make those catches. He showed that he made the catch. Mike Wallace with that catch 2 weeks ago.
Right.
Amazing.
I guess I'm just saying that they don't strike
fear in the hearts. No, they don't. But
and
honestly, I'm okay with that. And the reason why I'm okay with that is because then whenever it happens, you never see it coming.
It's got to happen, though.
But it doesn't.
That's the key
fair.
for it to be. It's got to actually happen. It's predicated on your running game.
And Alex Collins has been amazing for us.
Collins has
Collins has actually been really great because we're like averaging something like he's averaging like almost 7 yards, if not over 7 yards right now per carry on, and if you look at the game from last week on first and second down, all of the throws were like 7 yards. Like, so our first and second down are going there, plus our yardage running. Buck Allen is, he's still not, like, where I'd like him to be, but he's still doing all right.
I like Buck Allen.
I love Buck. I really do. I will say that, like, Collins has proven to be, like, a little beast mode.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy to have him because he's really fun to watch. He's hungry for it, and he's getting hungrier.
Woodhead.
Woodhead's been interesting. Woodhead's been a little bit more diminished in his role than I was expecting, but he's still making plays. He's still moving things on third down, like when we need him to. I think that I think we're going to see more of him in the Steelers game than we have, but I still think Collins is going to be the main go-to guy because he's also proving himself to be a catchable threat too.
Yeah, that's the one thing that's really been impressive with watching Collins, as opposed to just gunning and running it up the middle or cutting off to the edge. He's showing he can catch the ball.
Absolutely.
And that only makes the offense more dimensional. You know,
and that is one thing. Like, we literally were a one-dimensional team at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, that's
we
true.
literally had defense, and that's it. Like, we had
and
we
it
had
was
no
suspect
identity.
at that point.
Yeah, exactly. And then with Brandon Williams out, like the last time, if we're going into talking about the Steelers, the last time we played the Steelers at home, we didn't have Brandon Williams.
Okay.
Joe was still kind of injured, still trying to figure that out. We had just come back from the London game, where we lost, we got our asses kicked by the
Jags.
We really did. We really got our asses kicked by the Jags. And I think that the Ravens were like, nope, we're never going back over to London. Somebody else can take that. Like, they were excited about it, but I think that they didn't prep well for London. And then coming back on a short week to the Steelers, I think we went into that game knowing that it probably wasn't going to happen for us.
Play Jacksonville in London while looking at Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And it's, you know what?
We are a very different team, and it's a very different, it's a different time of the year.
It very well could be what Pittsburgh's doing right now to you guys, where they've got New England next week.
Yeah.
But they have you this week. Are they overlooking you guys looking at this?
I don't think they're
match?
overlooking it. I mean, when you're ever the number one rated defense, you're not going to overlook that. I do not see that. That being said,
I can look at your win-loss record and be like, these guys aren't anything.
It's true.
That
I mean, we're
take
7-5
more
right
going
now.
But
we're above 500. We're 7-5 right now. I think that this is going to be a game that has to be won on both sides of the ball. It has to be.
Yeah,
Because if our offense can't get it done against their defense, then we're never going to score any points, and our defense will have to carry it all day. So I think
Which doesn't work well. As a Browns fan, we have our defense on the field
But
more than the offense.
This
and
is,
they get tired out in the fourth quarter.
Whenever you go back and look at the 2000 and 2012 Ravens, this is exactly what happened to us. Like, we caught our offensive on later on in the season,
So let's just keep it current and relevant,
Okay.
because as a Browns fan, I've been told our championships don't matter compared to Super Bowls.
I don't believe
So
that. I don't believe that.
let's
You
just
know I don't believe
let's
that.
just maintain relevancy
So,
with this year.
that's fair.
Let's not look back at past years.
So, well, I mean, there's also pattern, but I get what you're saying. So coming into this game, I mean, I don't think they're underestimating us. I think that Mike Tomlin's a good coach. Like, he's a bit of an asshole, but he's still a decent coach. He's got Super Bowl rings for a reason. So that being said, I think that I don't see them like under preparing for us or thinking that they're just going to win this out. Especially with the fact that our secondary is what it is. We had Jimmy Smith go out last week, right? It would have been news if we had the 4-game suspension, but because he was already on injured reserve, like, it wasn't that big of a thing.
Right.
And we've already got corners to come up and pick up that slack. So what's exciting to me about that is that now you got Marlon Humphrey up in there, you know, like,
Younger
and
guy.
you're gonna have him double teaming probably with like Jefferson or Weddle. You've got Brandon Carr, who has started every single game that he's ever been in.
So Carr's going to line up on Bryant,
Yeah.
and Humphrey's going to line up on Brown, and you're
He's
going
probably
to
gonna get
for
help.
coverage from over the top coverage.
Jefferson,
from Jefferson.
you know, exactly. And I think that there's going to be a lot of that. That being said, I think that you're still dealing with a turf-toed Antonio Brown.
Big time.
I think that Juju's out. So Juju's out. Shazier is out. I think that means Shazier is the big one because then you don't have the play caller.
Right. That is very, very
So
true. That's what I was saying to you.
So
earlier.
without the play
And
caller,
they're also missing the other guy that could make the play calls from the safety position, Mitchell.
Yeah,
now,
and
who
Hayden's
knows
out too.
Who knows if Mitchell's going to play this week? And let's not discuss Hayden because my feelings on that are well documented. It's going to be an interesting game.
It's going to be a very interesting game. It's going to be
You
a
got a final?
battle. Huh?
What's your final?
All right, so I've been thinking about this. Like, what is a realistic? Yeah, right. I think it's
Light bulb on my head here.
it's going to go 17-14 Ravens.
17-14 Baltimore.
And the reason why, Justin Tucker. Justin Tucker is going to wind up winning that game. And the reason why is because as you get later on into the game, the defense and offenses on both sides are going to get tired. You're going to wind up about 35 yards out with like a minute and 30 on the clock, maybe a minute and 20. It's going to get close. They're going to line up. They're going to wind up getting pushed back because of some dumb penalty. And that's the other thing that's got to be careful is penalties. So you're going to be at like the 15-yard line, and somebody's going to do like a personal foul. It gets back to like
whole scenario.
yeah, no, dude, because this is what happens
on the final drive.
This is what happens
from like the 45 on the other side.
I'm legitimately calling it.
95-yard field goal.
Legitimate.
To win at the buzzer.
It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be one with like a 38 or 43 to 38 yard field goal with Justin Tucker to seal the deal. That being said, I think that I think what's gonna be really interesting to watch in this is how do I word this so that makes sense? What do the Steelers tight ends do against our defense? Because their tight ends, I mean, you got Jesse James, who hasn't been stellar, but he's been damn good. And I really think that, like, what their tight ends wind up doing for blocking especially allow for Bell to wind up, and their shovel passes, stuff like that. But I think watching how the tight ends move and allow for Bell to, like, find open spots on the outside it's going to be interesting because Brandon Williams is going to be able to lock up that inside. Like, Brandon Williams is going to be able to dominate. So if they move it to the outside, and C.J. Mosley did not practice today, injury with the shoulder neck kind of deal. So if C.J.'s a little slower in the step, and you're expecting, like, you know, C.J. to pick up that slack, or if Judon or Sizzle, you know, like, they're going to, of course, go after Big Ben. I'm really interested to see what the blocking happens there. I think that Williams is going to be interesting because he wasn't there for the last game. Judon matching up there. I'm curious to see what our offensive line looks like in the second quarter. Towards the end of the second quarter, with our O-line, I think that if Jensen and Skura and Hurst can keep together the game because they had an amazing offensive line. Like film study at Russell Street Report just put out his grades for the offensive line, and he said that the offensive line in that last game was the best game other than the time that the Ravens played the Raiders this year. And if they can continue this trend, then I think that we could definitely wind up putting more points on the board than I'm saying. But conservatively, I think it's going to be 17-14 Ravens. I think that Justin Tucker is the X factor there.
Well, we're going to find one of these guys are going to be butthurt come next Wednesday.
Yeah, I know.
It's going to be funny.
I'm so excited for this game.
But I'm going to laugh either which way if it's the Ravens guy.
I really like. And here's the thing, like,
I hope we get to do a group show for this.
Oh God, I want to. If the Ravens do wind up losing this, and totally that could absolutely, like, you know, wind up shooting themselves in the foot with any number of ways. But if the Ravens wind up losing this, I still think we can get into the playoffs. I still think it's totally possible for us to get in because we played the Bengals, we play you, no offense, and I think
we're not an easy victory. Dude.
No, I'm not saying I'm not saying you're an easy victory, but I think it's a game that we can win.
I think we're gonna play all right, and we're gonna hold our heads high in those.
I hope you do.
The last 4 games.
I really hope you do. And then going on from there, I think that this is interesting. This is football. Anyway.
All right. Well, we got new football podcasts. Excellent guy does rankings every week for us.
Jose,
that's our guy's name. He's a Ravens guy. Check him out. That's New Football Podcast
on YouTube.
Also check out New Stripe City, which is a Bengals guy that helps us out. Ace Boogie.
Yeah. Ace is so cool. And he just had a birthday, so happy birthday,
Ace. What else do we got? We got
new subscribers.
We got superfanstyle.com.
Oh yeah. So yeah, go to
off
and also even if you're a Steelers fan watching this too, they've got a brand new Dilly Dilly T-shirt on superfanstyle.com.
Gabe's waiting for his, so
Yeah,
why don't you put that shit in the mail, man?
So if you go to AFC North 20, you will be able to get 20% off of your purchase there for superfanstyle.com.
Like to thank Rocco's Tavern for hosting us
Rocco'sTavern.com.
on Wednesdays. We're not there today.
Yep.
We should be back on Wednesday, next Wednesday, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just round it off with some new subscribers.
And we've got 690 new subscribers.
Come on, man.
Thank you guys.
If you guys have subscribed to our channel, tell a friend about us.
Yeah.
And tell them to subscribe.
And
Help us
comment.
out, please. And comment.
Please,
So,
I mean, even if you hate us, comment.
So we got Andrew Baca,
Oof.
the Drew 3,
Yes.
J Marley 0632.
Bengal Mafia.
My favorite guy, Bengals Mafia. I enjoyed going back and forth with you last week. That was fun to me. Hopefully we get another week here where we can do that again. Katie H, thank you very much. Matt Helmfelt, Vince Armstrong,
Hey, Vince.
Nick Douglas.
Nick.
Nick, thank you for signing in from England. Love you.
Also, if you're hearing us read your names off, like, comment on the video and let us know, like, what teams you rep. We may not know.
Austin, we got J-Mac.
The entire city of Austin loves our team.
Why not? Devin Wagner,
No.
Maria Duran,
Okay.
MJM Gaming,
Rock on.
and just today, Smokey Productions.
Smokey Productions.
Smokey or it's Smokey.
Smokey?
It's one or the other. It's SM.
I'm going to go with Smokey. I'm going to go with Smokey Productions.
It's kind of like what's happening here in Van Nuys right now.
Oh my
surrounded by the
God,
flames.
yeah.
Moment of seriousness, Ryan Shazier,
Yeah.
and anybody else that got injured in that game.
Perfect.
Perfect. We're praying for speedy recoveries for you guys. Also for everybody here in LA that's surrounded or by the fires.
Please be safe.
Take care. If you've been evacuated, get your shit and get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Listen to the officials, man.
Yeah.
And
I just had to help a friend of mine out. Like, he was in the fire zone, and I actually had to go, and he stayed at my place last night. So
it's
be
real,
safe.
man.
It's
so
real.
be safe. I don't have anything else. We've done the subscribers. We've done some.
Yeah, I
bullshit
think we're
talking.
good. Again, guys, if you feel so inclined, you want to help out the show, you can do that just by going to patreon.com/AFC Northerners. And other than that, we will sign off as we always do with fuck the
Fuck the
Steelers.
Packers.
Fuck the Steelers. All right, guys.
Peace.
Bye.